Hey everyone, Lona here, your candidate for Bloomington City Council District 3, with the final section of our four-part review of the Parks Master Plan. Remember, you have till June 21st to make your voices heard by presenting comments at Let's Talk Bloomington about these sections of the park plan. You can also, of course, call the Parks Department or send them an email, but please don't make, no excuses. Go ahead and make your voices heard. I think it's the right thing to do. So section 4 is all about how we get there. And what they're trying to tell us is what they think is important about what to do first, second, third, when it comes to making the recommendations that they've made a reality. The first one is, of course, we got to fund it. And they're recognizing that the funding for the Parks Department has been woefully inadequate over the last several years. And as a result, their estimation is that we'd have to increase spending 3 times what it is today over the next 20 years in order to really make good on this plan. Now, we don't need to necessarily do it all incrementally. There is some commentary in here about a referendum or something that we could do to kickstart the program, but it does take funds. And if we agree as a city that this is our priority, that we value our natural spaces more than anything else, then our budget and the dollars we spend in supporting those should reflect that. So I don't think they're wrong in asking for this money. I think it makes sense. It's just a function of whether or not we're willing to tolerate it as a community, something to consider. And of course, there's lots of inventive ways to go about, the money. And that's detailed a little bit in the action plan that comes up a little later in this section. The second part of this is about parks design and development. They go through neighborhood parks, community parks, specialty parks or amenities, and then regional parks, highlighting, of course, that community parks and neighborhood parks are the bread and butter of the Bloomington park system. And as such, the evolution of those parks need to be considered along with all the facilities that are there, courts, ball fields, diamonds, picnic tables, everything like that, in a way that is community focused and is, with the help of certified landscape architects and done in concert with the outreach we do to the community along the way, especially at those neighborhood park levels where they really should reflect the people that live around them. And the third section then is of around the action plan. For lack of a better way to put it, it's basically saying there are 10 categories of things we think we need to do, and we want to tell you how we're going to get there. Now, there are guides. They're not meant to be prescriptive per se, but I think they do a good job of kind of expressing their priorities. The first ones fall in line with what we talked about as the critical park elements. So you'll see natural resources, followed by the levels of service, followed by the trails and mobility piece, and then followed by the equity and access piece. And then they actually focus on a couple of other kind of structural or infrastructure-oriented solutions. They talk about the org structure, the core services that need to be expanded in all park areas to meet the needs. They talk about the budget and the economic development. There's some great ideas in here about potentially like a parks foundation, for example, or public partnerships and private partnerships and that kind of thing. Policy updates, and I'm super excited about this. I talked to residents not that long ago to talk about how they want to help clean up the parks and take care of the buckthorn and stuff like that, but the process is not well documented. Maybe sometimes you need a permit, maybe you don't, then you get in trouble with the city, those kinds of things. We can do better, and so updating the policies to make sure we've got good policy in place that allows the community to participate in the care and feeding of its natural spaces, I think makes a ton of sense to me anyway. And then finally, efficiency, effectiveness, and sustainability are all in there. That's about metrics. That's about resilience and making, decisions that actually affect the mitigation of climate change and that kind of thing. Really great stuff in this plan. I'm super excited about it. That does it for our 4-part series, but I hope it's not the end of our time talking about the Parks Master Plan. I'll be paying very close attention to this as it comes to a vote with the folks in City Council. I pledge as your next City Council member to enact this plan should it pass, with all of the vigor that you see from me as it relates to our parks, and also to make sure that there's accountability, transparency, especially in these metrics and how we're driving the effectiveness of the work that's being done. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Thanks very much for taking the time to look at this and share this grouping of videos with your friends. Please leave us any comments you have, and don't forget to let the city know by June 21st what you're thinking. Thank you. Bye-bye.